Bear with me 1 second. Morning. Morning.
I got
Morning, how's it going?
coming. Good man. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
Morning, Shalem.
Morning, bro.
Yeah, so right now on GJ, I'm not taking any sells until we have some form of resistance created, because if we take a look on the 4 hour, it's going to be very risky taking sells if you look at the structure right now. Yeah, very risky. So yeah, waiting for either resistance to form, or if we can start to close back in this range, look for some form of retest of the high. Can everyone hear me okay? I got a new headset. Does it sound better at all?
Yeah, sounds fine.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Alright, cool.
How much did it cost?
Not much actually, but it looked like a much better quality, so
Yeah.
it was like 40 quid.
Does the job.
Yeah, that's it. Does the job. So yeah, I think we're gonna need a solid resistance, maybe like the 30-minute, something like that, coming into open, just because. So if we start to look, let's take a look at the daily. Daily's already moved up bullish. So daily's already moved up bullish. It broke the high. So I mean there is, yeah, I don't know. If the daily flips bearish, then I mean we could just retrace a little bit to then make a bit of a bottom wick. Looking on the 4 hour, looking on the 4 hour, in order for us to basically continue moving bullish, continue with the bullish market structure, we need to be respecting this resistance on the 4 hour, which is why I don't want to be taking any like impulsive sells at this point, because we could, like I was discussing yesterday on the weekly breakdown, we could have a wick down below this area and then the 4 hour start to, you know, either flip or close above. So taking sells, we want to see strong confirmation, like a strong resistance to take sells to head down back to maybe this next zone over here. It's very possible for it to do so, but we're going to need some form of resistance because it's a Monday. You know, we're taking counter trend potential sells, so we want to see the most possible strongest confirmation we're going to need for us to reach this area. So that's kind of like looking at the 4 hour. So let's take a look at the 1 hour. So looking at the 1 hour, obviously we had a support formed late Asian, breaking below that support, but this is our 4 hour resistance area around this level, so we want to be careful with that as well. So that's why we're going to need to wait for some resistance to form, and then as we look on the 30-minute, as I was saying, this area right over here is that 4 hour resistance, and we can see how we are attempting to close below, but we need to wait. The other thing for buys, if we close back above this area, my issue for buys is, are we going to run into some issues kind of within this zone or back up at this support, like this zone right over here. So maybe it's going to need to be, once we start to close back above this area, to then anticipate some further continuation to retest these high points. But yeah, we'll wait and see what happens either way. But right now we're gonna need to wait for some form of resistance to form in this area, you know, below this zone. Nice solid 30-minute candle, and then we have some clean candles coming down to where we had market open, which would be a good target. Also looking left, there was a previous resistance as well. That's also going to be a good target. So just a waiting game here for the minute. Morning. Man, we got not a lot of people here this morning.
Don't know, maybe Monty streams back up, I think.
Yeah, maybe. That's perfectly fine. No copy traders. Yeah, that's true. At least all the copy traders will be gone. So I think we got some. I think we got some big news coming up tomorrow. Let's take a look at the news here in a sec. Did that phone trader sign up for your mentorship? Nope, nope, no. Which is perfectly fine. Okay, let's see what news we got here. So today we've got a little bit of Euro news. A little bit of Euro news today. But then tomorrow we've got unemployment. So we're expecting only 1% higher unemployment, right? So potentially we could see something tomorrow that we saw last week with the retail sales. So if we get like a worse number than this and we get no reaction, if we get a worse number than this and we get no reaction at all, let's say with whenever the news comes out 7 a.m., then we can interpret that news to be absorbed at 8 a.m. So they're going to keep that in mind. Obviously it may react to it at 7 a.m., but that's why we wouldn't be trading at that time. Yeah, it seems like GJ. See, what I like to do is I like to look at the way in which the candles are forming. You know, we can see this candle made a bottom wick and then moved bullish. This one also did the same, and now this one's also doing the same. This one's also trying to move bullish. Seems like we could potentially close back above this area, and then we can look for potential further upside. See, this is why the sells, man, when there's no confirmation, when there's no structure, when we're in bullish market structure, it can leave big wicks. That's not what we want. We want to wait for solid confirmations. So we're waiting for solid confirmation. Morning. Hello, how's it going? I'm just trying to work out how we could look to take buy positions. You're back. Yes, you're back. But is this 15-minute a good resistance to sell? I would say no. I would say I'm gonna need a nice 30-minute. Nice 30-minute. Man, look at this 15-minute. Came up, broke the high to then come all the way back down. See what's going on the 5 minutes. Yes, very difficult situation right now. So we just gotta wait here for 7 minutes. So while we wait, let's take a look at gold for a sec. Oh, we missed that. Oh, we missed that opportunity on gold. 7 a.m. 30-minute support created. Okay, so let's take a look on gold. So looking at gold, we're at this previous support area on gold on the daily. So we could start to, and I say could, we could start to reject this area to head further down. If we start to create support above this area, then there's a probability that we could start to move back up again. Let's take a look at the weekly real quick. Yeah, could be a weekly coming back within this price area. So that's something that could happen. Looking on the 4 hour. Yeah, 4 hours trying to move bullish over here. Probably going to try and come up into this wick rejection area, just where you'd want to be careful around 1797. Looking on the 1 hour time frame. So looking on the 1 hour, we are trying to close above this resistance area to the left hand side. And if we can continue moving bullish, yeah, 1797. Looking on the 30-minute time frame, yeah, we're at a resistance. We're trying to close above a resistance, and I think if we can, then the next target is going to be 1800 at that point on gold. We have a little minor resistance not far away, but we should start to break that. But it looks like we're trying to close above this area, so a good buy basically would have been based off this 30-minute candle creating support. On the 15-minute was a 715 was a good buying opportunity for price to continue moving up. So yeah, we'll see what happens with gold. We've got 5 minutes left for GJ, and then we have London open. But I want to see some solid resistance to take sales. Solid resistance. Looks like pre-London couldn't break above that resistance though. So the only kind of like confluence you had, we came back to support. We created a weak bullish candle, and then we just had a volume rush. But we're gonna have to wait. Man, I'm gonna need a drink here soon. Morning, Sergio. Yeah, I don't like this 900 level, 910, because of this previous area on the 1 hour. If we take a look, that is also the 4 hour resistance at 910. So we're gonna need some form of resistance below 910 basically. That's what I want to see. I want to see some form of structure forming below this area. And then I think we can have price continuing down to this. Yeah, I think we can neaten up this zone, because this was a previous resistance. I think we can go to where we had support formed from market opens pretty good. Seems like we're trying to close potentially bullish over here. 15 minutes coming back bullish. What a candle. So yeah, keep an eye on the way that the candle is forming. That's really, really important. Good morning, good morning. Because I know it may seem like that potentially, you know, we're closing below this area, this previous support. Everyone's gonna be like, yeah, it still sells, or we're closing below this whole zone. Yes, true, but this area is the 4-hour resistance. It's the 1-hour resistance, right? So we need to be making sure price is also respecting the zone. You know, because if we close like this, for me, there's no sells. For me, there's also technically no buys, because like you say, we have this problem area here, here, and here. So what I would want to see is another candle closing, let's say, back up into this range, and then it could be an opportunity to buy to come up to resistance. You know, but yeah, I'm just gonna have to wait to see what prints for buys. But either way, the bias is going to be bullish because of the trend and, you know, the daily and the higher time frame, you know, so we need to wait for that strong confirmation. If this 30-minute potentially closes back above, you know, these supports, then, you know, you could expect open to just continuous moving up all the way up to resistance. You know, something that also could play. There's something I'm going to be looking at. Obviously, we want this candle to close with a wick, but here we go. Sells are now coming out of the window. Oh, damn, we are moving up over here. Fake out on the 30-minute. Yes. Would you consider taking sells if it breaks the previous low? Looks like it's rejecting from previous support. Oh, I think that idea is gone now anyway. But no, I wouldn't have done. I wanted to see a resistance for sells based on the structure, because now if you take a look at the 1 hour. Look at the 1 hour, it's rejecting this area. If we take a look at the 4 hour, 4 hour also seems like it's about to reject this area. So yes, that is why sells would need to be a solid resistance. You know, and this kind of area has now left us no room for buys, really. If we close the way it is, it's left us no room for buys. I mean, what can we do? So we're gonna probably have to wait for some support or a break above this resistance at that point. You know, and then if we break above this resistance, we have a nice clean move coming up to 148.370, which is around 20 pips away. So there we go, guys. 30-minute candle closed bullish. We closed back above this area. I think this London Open candle is going to create a bit of a bottom wick, and then it should start to head up. I mean, I don't think it's a great idea to take. No, I've missed that. That boat has sailed now on this bottom wick. But yeah, it does seem like if we can create a bit of a bottom wick here, then the next one should actually fly up to 148, 185. 1 hour closed above this area as well. You can see that. You can see how the 1 hour closed above this area. Yeah, this should fly up at that point. Yeah, see, potential buying opportunities could have been taken over here, but and then stops would have been below this area, and then this would be your target. But I just missed that boat, unfortunately. That's what you'd be looking at. Euro NZD looks more interesting this morning. Let's take a look at Euro NZD. Yes, potentially. Okay, bear with me 1 sec. Alright, looking at your NZD, let's take a look at the 4 hour. So previous 4 hour created support right over here, right? We're moving up. We can see we have these wick issues here to the left hand side, but we could be potentially looking at some form of correction. If we're coming to make some resistance, then I mean this is the 4 hour previous zone what we broke down below. Looking on the 1 hour time frame, we are approaching a resistance right over here. So we tapped up into a resistance for 7 AM, and now the 8 AM candle is retracing a bit. We created a support at 6 AM to continue price moving up. Let's take a look on the 30-minute. Yeah, we've got a little bit of a bearish candle forming at resistance, but good buys are going to be above this area. Or if price can retrace, create some support again to continue that move up. So now we're looking on the 30-minute. You know, we had a resistance over here, so we could be looking at potential support created to retest this high, or a break above this area for Euro NZD to continue moving up, and then we should be able to fill these wicks to the left hand side. So that's what we're kind of looking at here with Euro NZD. So yeah, GJ should continue moving bullish. Very well should. But yeah, if I was gonna take buys, it would have been over here, but I was a little bit slow to the beat, as they say. I was because of the way this 30-minute candle closed, I was thinking, you know, it's gonna be way too big of a stop, forgetting that okay, maybe sometimes it's gonna wick down. I was expecting maybe, you know, just a little wick and then a drive up, but sometimes it's gonna retrace a little bit and give you an opportunity. So those who were quick, you know, could have got in that trade, giving yourself enough range to continue moving up. So let's say you did get in somewhere over here, you would be looking at, you know, potential like 18, 19 pip range for, you know, like a 13, 14 pip stop. But you really got to expect this candle to continue moving up, preferably to break the high. I mean, even in the first 15-minute candle closes bearish, you're not bothered by that. You're bothered by the overall 30-minute, respecting this low, and then continuing moving up. It's a very high probability it's going to do so. Man, we got a real lack of people here today, but it's perfectly fine. Right. Your NZD trying to flip bullish. Yeah, I think today we're just going to be focusing on pound yen. We can take a look at gold and Euro NZD, but I don't want to be over complicating it with you know, many pairs. We're going to be really trying to focus on a selective today. Alright, bear with me guys, I'm just going to make a drink real quick. I'll be back in a couple minutes, and then we're going to discuss some things. I was just thinking, what other news do we have this week? I didn't even check out what other news we have. Oh, we've got a lot of news for USD on Thursday. We've got yeah, durable goods, unemployment claims, Personal income on Friday. So really the only big news we have for pound is we've got unemployment and the claimant count. But yeah, this 30-minute candle should continue moving bullish. Although I've kind of missed this entry opportunity, I understand exactly where I could have entered in. So this would have been where you wanted to have entered in, somewhere over here. Here's your target, and there was your stop loss. You know, we did discuss if the 30-minute before open closes somewhere back above this support. Bad drawing. We did discuss if price closes somewhere back above this support level, even worse drawing. We need this to be nice and neat to be able to see. Right, that's a little bit better. See how we closed the back above this support, this level here. We closed back above, so naturally we should create a little bit of a bottom wick and then continue that move up. I should have been in buys all day, just a little bit slow to the beat, but that's okay. At least we saw it in the flesh. We saw how we could have caught that move. So yeah, definitely would have been buys on this bottom wick, stops below this area, and then this would be your target. And then, you know, you're leaving a runner to run at that point, see if you can get above into these wicks. But yeah, that definitely should reach resistance over there. Yeah, 4 hours flipping bullish at this point. So how many pips was that? If you got in on the bottom wick, oh my god, you had 16 or 15 pips right there just off that one candle. That's what I'm saying, man. This bottom wick was a beautiful opportunity to get in buys. Should continue this move up as well. If we take a look on the 5-minute for a sec, I mean, we can, yeah, it's a little bit difficult to kind of see, but you can almost see structure because of these wick rejections over here, right? And then since we were kind of like ranging, I suppose once we basically started to break above this high right over here, that, you know, we had a clean candle to the left. So I mean, naturally 5-minute was going to move up. I mean, if you look at the 5-minute, you can see rejections over here. So just purely looking at the 5-minute. Now, I don't want to base trades off the 5-minute at all yet, but just for my own learning purposes, I can see on the 5-minute we had clear rejections to the downside when we first had this big impulsive move down. Then we can see how we made, you know, a bit of a retracement, and again we started to have these wick rejections on the 5-minute to the downside. So naturally, when this candle was moving up, I mean, once we started to break above these high points, maybe you could argue that we was rejecting these lower zones to actually continue moving up. Now you can see further rejections on the 5-minute with this 15-minute bottom wick, which is right over here. And then now we're creating a solid support on the 5-minute over here. And then this next 5-minute should continue this move up to resistance. And that was the play based on the 15-minute, the 30-minute, and the 5-minute working hand in hand. But I'm not at that level yet to be executing based on 5-minute structure. But looking at it, you can see that 15-minute time frame was very messy. I wouldn't have taken. The only thing about that situation is this area to the left on the 15. But I think the solid trade right over there was based off of if you could have got in somehow on this bottom wick on the new 30-minute when the London Open just pushed price down a bit. You could always expect at that point some form of flip, and then, you know, your target in this area. You had 15-16 pips over here, but if you wanted to wait for the full target to be hit, that would be your target. Even if this 30-minute doesn't really go anywhere, or does this, just kind of closes like a weak bullish candle like this, you should see the next one fly up because it's establishing that support again on the lower time frames. But either way, you could have had 15-16 pips, 10 pips off of that just one 30-minute or one 15-minute candle, should I say, rather, because the 30-minute hasn't even, not even halfway through yet. So one 15-minute candle presented the opportunity. You know, a quick 15 pip scalp. Definitely good move. So yeah, really nice move. So yeah, I'm gonna go make a quick drink. I am really thirsty, and I'll be literally back in a couple minutes. So bear with me. But we have discussed where the target is. You know, so I'm just gonna have to wait at this point. So I'll be back 1 second.
Yeah, I just went to make breakfast, but I actually got buys on the 30-minute break of high. Kind of waited for the bottom wick to be formed first. Harrison Neuer. Yeah, basically what I saw was One sec. On the 30-minute, I had this zone drew here, and I had the 30-minute closing back above. And then on the hour time frame, you see there's loads of like rejection wicks into around 147.980 or about 148. So I mean, after we come back down there, my stop loss is there because I don't think we should be coming back to that zone if we're going to head up. And then first targets around here, and then expecting us to come back up to here if we get the push with the open volume. Yeah, I probably could have got back in on the pullback, but to be fair, like, wanted to see the pullback at London open first before we actually got in. But we'll see. Yeah, kind of want to see the 30-minute close above 0.50 if we're going to head up. Harrison.
Yo.
Actually, obviously I wasn't here when you were talking about it because I think you just went to make some food or something. But
Oh yeah.
I actually got buys on the break of the 30-minute high,
Okay.
which now in a bit of drawdown, but kind of expecting. Looking at 30-minute, I had a zone drew. It was like here. I saw we closed back above it, and then when it went down, it's kind of like the hour liquidity zone. I was kind of expecting once we broke the high to push up.
Yeah.
But yeah, struggled a little bit.
Yeah, I think so. You're still in the trade now, right?
Yeah, so I've got my stops below the candle low.
This
which
candle low.
probably quite risky. Yeah.
How big's the stop? Yeah. See,
Not too big.
yeah. See. See, the thing is, really, like you were saying, we need this 30-minute to kind of respect this area, this 30-minute candle as well, and then probably what you'll find is the next one should just move straight up. If it closes like that, then the next one should just move straight up to resistance, right? But if your stop was, say, I know it's going to be way too big having stop loss down over here, but if it was, you could, you know, kind of let all this mess go, because we could wick back into this area and then start to drive up, you know. But I think you should be good. I'm gonna feel, you know, just be confident with it. Bear with it. I think it's just, let this 30 close. If it can close bullish, then you have, you know, you should be good at that point. But I think, like, obviously I looked at the same thing, but I was like, you know what, where the buys should have been taken was right over here. We moved down in the first 30 seconds. I should have executed the buys, wrapped my stop down over here.
Yeah,
and then,
true.
you know,
would have been safer.
Yeah, would have got 15, 16 pips just on this one 15-minute candle. I didn't even have to ride it to target, because you had 15 pips in the bag at that point. You could have just secured, you know, you could just closed out there. I mean, what's, you know, say a couple of pips less, and then you bag your profits for a Monday. I mean, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, I feel you.
But obviously, you know, you have the right idea and stuff, so don't worry about it. You know, you just got to see how you could have, you know, got a better entry, or you know. So I was looking at it. And obviously, you know, with the data collection that I've been doing, wow, have I been seeing a lot of things, and this is kind of one of them, in terms of, you know, where we have this move down, and then, you know, pre-London closes back above a key support level, and then London Open will take us up. You know, we didn't quite reach exactly where we wanted to, but I think in terms of intraday bullish structure, you know, as long as we're basically respecting this area, then we should start to create supports and head up at that point. That's what we're kind of looking at for the day. But from an entry perspective, for me, you know, I mean, partially I should have been entering in somewhere down over here, and then, you know, this is where your exit point is, or yeah, you can exit over here if you want. And then even if you want to leave a you know, depending on the person, but if they wanted to leave a runner to run, then this is the next target at that point.
Yeah, because I've been noticing, like, it's the same as you, like, more times than not, if we get a fake out pre-London, then we usually push out and break out the other side of the range that we had in Asian.
Or at least hit the resistance.
Hit it, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And we did kind of have this initial reaction here, but I think once basically the 30 settles, closes bullish, you'll see the next one continue moving up. So don't worry, but just say to yourself, okay, well, I know for next time, since we see this move, see if I can get a good entry point down over here.
Luck.
Yeah, because obviously if we look left as well, we can see how this was a wick zone. We can see these wicks, so we should have seen a wick down into this area to generate that liquidity to push us up. Especially once the candle open just started going dum 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 dum. That's where you're like, okay, bang, you're in. Do you know what I mean? It's that comes with experience, though.
Yeah, I mean, stops down here definitely makes sense, because they would have been like, what, 15 pips or less?
Yeah,
that's
15
pips. Solid there.
Yeah,
Shouldn't come
15
back to there.
pips, and then you don't really have to worry too much, because, you know, basically you're just anticipating that this area will be respected, you know, because that's the previous support level. You know, we stretch that left, this is all the previous support. So basically, as long as this whole zone is respected, like this whole zone, then we're gonna head up to your targets at that point. So you haven't really got to worry about this unless you get some big rejection, and then we start to really dump head down, but then you're just wrong at that point, and then the probabilities wasn't there. But I think this 30 minute looks like it's going to close hopefully bullish, and then you should be good. But as long as it stays above this area, I mean, yeah, you should be good at that point.
Yeah, just got to let it play out.
Yeah. Let your analysis play, and then, you know, then you go back to the drawing board and say, okay, what could I have done better? Yeah, so I had to make some cornflakes. I made the tea and I was like, oh, you know what? I need to have some cornflakes or something. Hungry times. But yes. Okay. Let's answer. Euro NZD is retesting the support term resistance. For me, high probability will go down. Go down. I don't know. I mean, looking at the previous 30 minute candle closed bullish on Euro NZD. So technically that means you have a support formed. So if you want to take sells, you would want to wait for this minor support to break, and then you have a clean move coming down. You know, when candles are creating supports, it's probably going to range here for a little bit. Looking at the looking at this week 15 minute, you know, it could range for a little bit, and then it's going to either continue with the trend or correct, and more than likely it's going to continue with the trend. So I wouldn't say be looking for sells right now. You know, you're going to need a solid resistance to form for sells. You know, just because price is at a resistance level does not mean that it's going to go down. It just means that it's at a resistance level. So you need to wait for a confirmation that this area is still a strong resistance, which is a bearish candle. This bearish candle was not a good enough confirmation because it only tapped into this level and closed bearish. We create a support over here. Now there's a higher probability that it can break through this level. A higher probability, you know. But yeah, that being said, I mean, yeah, you'd want that minor support to break on the 15, and then yeah, it can continue moving up, moving down. Sorry, it can. But you need this minor support to break, and then you have a clean move coming down. So just be patient. Hi. Who's in buys? I'm not in any buys. I did discuss where I would have got into the buy position. Right. Always had that 15-minute low already. Difficult situation right now. But it's still respecting that area, so see, this is where, I mean, I don't want to see, this is where if stops were down over here, all this wouldn't really be so like a problem, you know. But the way that it's moving and forming, it's doing what all the other candles are doing and creating these very wick generated candles. If we take a look at the 15-minute, we can see all these long wicks before we start to head up. So
yeah, I'm stopped out.
Oh damn,
Heavy loss today.
That's alright.
Yeah, lesson learned at least.
Yeah, that's fine.
Get in further back.
Don't worry. Even now, I still, even though okay, maybe you didn't get the best possible entry, I still think that the probability wasn't there for it to head up on this particular like if you're getting stopped out over here, then it's just unfortunate, you know what I mean. Whereas a lot of the times that would just head straight up to our resistance level at that point. But don't worry, don't be disheartened.
Yeah, maybe I did need to tap into this area again, and maybe now it'll flip.
Yeah, because of these wick rejections here to the left.
Yeah.
You know, we're closed above that area. We're just personally, I think we're just revisiting this zone because of these wicks to the left to generate that liquidity, and then we'll start to head up. So even like let's say for example, I mean, sometimes what can happen, this 30-minute could even close bearish, but close above this zone here, and then the next one starts to create that support to go up. I mean, there's so many ways it can print. And you just gotta look at the picture, and we can see this is a zone. It's doing this liquidity grab. It did this before down over here as well on the 15-minute. So that's why you can kind of tell by the way the price has been moving to start the day how it's now creating that same situation with, you know, these new candles here. But yeah, what a short audience we have here today. Obviously I understand there's other streams and stuff, which is fine. But we were doing well last week. We had a good amount of viewers, and I was very pleased. Okay. Sorry, I was buys. I did the baby pips course, half. I will complete it soon. Okay, yeah, nice. Very nice. Are you trading today? I am trading, but I haven't taken a trade yet. You know, I mean, I looked back at this. I did discuss these buys on this bottom wick of that 30 minutes. Sorry. But yeah, I mean, I think it should still continue moving up. I think this is just generating that liquidity that we've been seeing happening today with these situations in pre-London, and I think we should still reach this resistance over here. But I'm happy to take no trade on a Monday, because Monday historically has always been my worst day. So to be completely honest, yeah, I'm just chilling really. No obligation to take a trade. Yeah, it's all good. You know, even if I get a little bit more consolidation and then later on, I don't know, and then why we get a break above, then, you know, we can look for further upside at that point. But right now, I mean, we're still just, technically speaking, right, London hasn't really moved a lot, technically speaking, because we're still in a range. But when you look at the smaller prints, when you know, look at certain situations, you can take trades based off of things that happen within a range and whatnot. Yeah, looks like it's doing that liquidity grab potentially again. Or it might even start to, because if we look on the 15 minute, it may even need to breathe a little bit in this zone, above this zone on the 15 minute, you know, start to retrace a little bit here, and then start to create some support. That's also what it may want to do. It may want to create some support on the 15 minute, and then you can have the next one to continue. So I think I've done a fair bit of explaining on this situation. Okay, let's answer some questions. Hi Harrison, what's up bro? What's going on? How are you? Buying your NZD now. Nice. I closed half of my position when the previous 15-minute low was broken. You closed 50%? That's still good. If you're managing risk, that's still good. Just what I've been noticing, something I took a note of last week, was to watch the way in which certain candles form. So for example, I witnessed this morning we broke the low over here, and then we flipped bullish when we had a lot of volume. So is this what's happening right over here? We're breaking the low because actually we are having a lot of volume to continue that move up to resistance. Do you know what I'm saying? So you have to watch the way in which candles form. You know, what I've been seeing as well since today, we can see most bullish candles have created this bottom wick, you know. So this situation could just be that liquidity into this zone, tapping into the zone once more, and now we will start to head up at that point. But that's kind of what's it looking like right now.
I'm gonna say,
Go on.
you go on the 30. If I had more stops, maybe just a little bit further down, like these wick lows here. Yeah, I think I may have not got stopped out there. Yeah,
you wouldn't have been stopped out. It gives it a little bit more breathing room. But it just, if the stop loss was down over here, and let's say the entry was somewhere in this zone, right, you wouldn't be so bothered about it breaking this low, because you know we have this whole area to the left, and this whole zone basically just needs to be respected. We can wick down into this all day, but still head off at any point to the upside based on where we're closing. So I just think, yeah, even stops here would have been good, but then again, you know, how far would we have wicked down before driving up? You don't really know. But still, looking back, yeah, I mean, you could have argued maybe just to be a little bit more safe, you could have just put it a little bit lower, just below those wicks to the left hand side. So yeah, you could definitely argue that. I mean, honestly mate, don't worry about it. It happens.
Yeah, it was a good idea to be fair, but I think if I, took it based more off the close and then getting back in on the pullback, like I did on Thursday, getting that better stop loss. I think
Yeah.
them kind of trades are the way forward because then you can always get better stops below actual zones that we shouldn't come back to,
Yeah.
rather than just like wick lows and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true.
They're always the worst ones when you get stopped out like that though, and then it just flips. Like, no.
Yeah, I know it's not like ideal, is it, on the psychology, but I mean, you're gonna learn something from it, so
Yeah.
just take that forward into the rest of the week and you'll be fine, trust me. Right. What do you think about what do I think about EU sales? If you send a chart, Jamal, then I can 100% take a look for you if you're looking at EU sales. Because Monty just started to stream this week. Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah, there's obviously a lot of other London streams, so I've always understood that, but yeah, it's just nice to have our audience. Busy, not buys. Oh, I see. Euro NZD just retest the resistance and start to go down as we said above. If confirmation, I will go short. What do you think? Let me take a look. I think, okay, so yeah, I can see we're broken the low on the 30-minute. So what I would say is it's a little bit of like a counter trend trade. Well, not really counter trend, but okay, what you'd be basically looking at is if this 15-minute can close below this minor support here in 3 minutes time. If it can, then you could expect the next one to continue down. But if it doesn't, if it closes above, then you would maybe want to wait for like a further support at that point, or just wait for a break above this area to look for buys. So I think if this 15-minute can close below this minor support, yes, you could see price continuing down to this area with Euro NZD. But you want this candle to close below that minor support, otherwise the sells make no sense. So GJ is coming back. I don't know, freak. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the analysis still stands. As long as we respect this zone, we can continue moving up. If we don't, then at least Kelsey can know it wasn't never going to work out anyway.
I suppose we're in quite a tricky situation. The 4 hours still bearish, trying to respect, what is it, 147,900.
Yeah.
Then daily's still bullish, hasn't really made much of a bottom wick yet.
That's it.
So
that's it.
See.
Yeah, I mean, we could start to push down later in the session. We can start to see candles start to actually driving down. It's very possible. But then I would want to see some form of pullback to then create resistance again, and then you could look for sells. That's perfectly fine. But right now, yeah, I mean, we're in like a bullish zone. That's how I would class it. We're in a bullish zone, which means you don't look for sells in a bullish zone. So you already had the right idea because we was in a bullish zone, but you just got caught in just one of those. You're not in this trade, HFX. No, I'm not in any buys right now. Not in any buys right now. Could you check out my trade? Yes, and then I'm gonna take a little bite of my cornflakes. Do you not think that really sounds like Michael Jackson? This song? I know. I'm bugging out. Doesn't exist? There we go. Okay. So this is pound 30-minute. Place the buy when this high was broken. Okay. Stop loss below the 15-minute candle. I should have placed stop loss below this range instead of in the range. Yeah, exactly what Kelsey was saying is that if he had his stops below this area, then he would have been fine. Even if you wanted to be super conservative, you can see this wick over here. You could have tried to place it somewhere over here, which isn't so bad. Obviously, it's a fairly big risk at that point. But I mean, at that point, you know, you'd be expecting price to basically rip through this zone, and then you can start to take profits above this zone or at this resistance, and then you have the next resistance. So in terms of risk reward, it's what you make of it. You know, if you yeah, I mean, it's basically what you make of it. If you want to have or close out over here, that's still 20 pips. Yes, your risk is going to be a lot more, or risk is going to be fairly high. But I mean, it's all about being a little bit more conservative with stop loss to allow the trade to play to where you think it's gonna go. You know, so just yeah. But yeah, you had the right idea. You definitely had the right idea. But in terms of chart work, I think you should label in the order in which you're looking at. Also, I don't think you need this support over here. It's an important level, clearly, because of the wicks. But you can just think about that. You know, in terms of actual support, I personally would have looked at this area because this was the 4-hour resistance, the 1-hour resistance. And we needed a solid resistance below that area to be able to sell. And then right now, I mean, anywhere basically above this zone is buys anyway. So this was the previous support from the Asian. So this is the area really you need to see candles closing bullish, and then you can continue moving up. But yeah. But apart from that, unlucky. Obviously, you could have managed risk on the break of the 15-minute low. Well, that was the 15. Oh, stop loss was below the 15-minute candle. Yeah, it would have been needed to be below the 30, and then you could have kind of like managed your risk a little bit. But it's completely up to you. Thanks, bro. No worries. For me, GJ, according to higher time frame, will go down to retest resistance 147, 700, grab some liquidity, then fly out. Yeah, maybe. It could do. It very well could do, but we need confirmation for that. Do you trade your money in the live? Yes. So I have my MT5. I have my MT5 on another screen, and that's where I execute my trades. And then obviously all you get to see is, let's say if I took a long over here, that's where you get to see this situation. Did it play out? Did it stop loss? And then obviously I get to see the drawdown, etc. But yeah, I mean, I post profits and stuff or losses after the stream anyway, so right. I'm sorry if I missed your 4 hours bursting to push up. I'm hoping it can. Definitely hoping. Why not stream on NYC? Because that time has not any streamer. The volume is still pretty good. It's just my suggestion. I know you probably will stick this session. I understand your point. Definitely, you know, there's a lot of volume in NYC, 100%. There's also nobody that streams it. So yes, that's also true. But in terms of my lifestyle and what suits me best, this is the best session for me. Even if I have 10 people show up, it makes no difference. I mean, look, I'm not earning. It's not like YouTube is paying my weight, or you know, YouTube is. I earn about £1 every time I stream. You know, this is no influential money. Let's put it that way. So, for me, the YouTube is just to provide a service for free. It's also about providing, you know, a little bit of a paid service for those in the group as well, because then they get that live trading element and all that stuff. But all in all, yeah, it makes no difference to me, because at the end of the day, I'm just gonna, you know, focus on this one session, and that's it. But yeah, no, I understand your point. Okay, let's check out this chart real quick. Why does it keep on doing that? Okay. So this is pound yen 1 hour. Okay. Oh, you got a question. Oh, you got a question. Okay. H, I focus on one pair as well. Do you not think that there are other times when one focuses on that one pair, we tend to talk ourselves into trading within a range? Of course, discipline is key. I think that's a good question, actually. I think yes and no. I think we could argue yes to that, and I think we could argue no. I'm going to say we could argue yes because, let's say, okay, yes, right. On the 1 hour time frame, today's a good example. We're just stuck in a range. So 100%, you know, you could say taking buys within this range. Yeah, you know, you're taking trades within a range. I agree. You know, you can get caught in a range. People did just get caught in a range. But at the same time, if you know your pair well enough and you know how it moves within a range, I can show you data that suggests that when we do a fake out and we come back in the range, there's a probability that it's going to break the other way, or there's a probability that it wants to reach that resistance. So we did discuss how you could have caught a trade within this range, right? We did discuss how you could have caught a trade in this range, but yes, to some extent, I think it's a lot more risky. However, that being said, if you're experienced enough and you know your pair like the back of your hand, you know exactly where you're going to get in. You know where your stop loss needs to be, and you know where you need to get out. You know, that's the level of experience that you need. So, I would say, yeah, I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. There's just two perspectives on that. But I think it's down to you as an individual. If you're someone that just doesn't feel comfortable taking trade within this range, then adding one more pair probably is okay. If you're someone that, you know what, even if we just range, I'll just leave it. You know, I just want to stick to my one pair, and if it just ranges and I don't like it, I just won't trade it. You know, or I know how it moves within a range, or I know how it moves with certain situations. I have that experience and I can execute based off of that. You know, so I think, yeah, there's multiple answers for that, but that's still okay to ask the question. But I would say that if you're feeling that way, then I'll give you that you could definitely add one more pair. You know, it's when you got like 4 or 5 pairs it starts to become an issue. But you know, when you have another pair on the side, you know, what are you gonna do then if you have an entry on GJ and an entry on another pair? Are you gonna take both? You know, that's where the conflicting idea comes from as well. So you gotta think about that.
I mean, you probably know as well if you're trading too much with one pair in the one session. If you're having more than like 5 to 10 trades a week, and you're probably doing too much on that pair. But then, like, say if you're only taking like 2, 3, 4, 5, then you're probably fine, even if you are taking more riskier trades within the range, because then you're being more selective on them trades specifically as well.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, in terms of when you know it's in a range, you can just say, okay, I'm not going to touch that pair and I'm just going to call it a day. Go and enjoy my day. It literally does depend on what type of trader you want to be and what you want to achieve, really. You know, I mean, I know Kelsey can vouch that we've seen a lot of the time, if GJ closes back in the range and the trend is heavy bullish, we're going to break out bullish. You know, would you agree with that, Kelsey?
Yeah, exactly. And I actually hope this does go up, because then my analysis is playing out. I just had the wrong kind of stop loss set, you know?
Yeah, and then he can go forward and see how he could have, you know, got a better entry. And then look, I think I would agree it's going to head up, because look what we're creating over here on the 15-minute, which we discussed. If we can start to create some support, we could see a pullback to this zone, close above, which we did, and now we're starting to see support form. And then I think I think we should continue to move up. But yeah, exactly. Kelsey's right. You know. Ooh. You tell me if you trade. You tell me if you trade money, I can see the buy green and sell red. I think are you alive and when to stop loss. Okay, I understand that, but let me explain it to you. So when I take a buy position, my green is always going to be above my red. So all that means is this is a measure of your stop loss. So let's just use this as an example. Let's say I took a trade based off of this 30-minute candle closing. This is where I got in, the line in between the green and red. The green, wherever I put it, is obviously going to be my TP, right? So let's just say this is my take profit, and then my stop loss, let's say, is going to be down over here below this support. So if candle comes down and goes past this bottom of this red box, my stop loss has been hit. If it hits the top of my green box, sorry, then my TP has been hit. And obviously for me, how it works for me is that I have wherever I enter in here. So let's say I take a buy on my MT5, then I'm gonna bring up this, I'm gonna put that, and then it will, yeah, basically that. I mean, yeah, it's pretty simple, but that's it. So that's how you know. Yeah, look at this. I think this is gonna continue moving bullish over here. I think it was just very unfortunate what it did, but this should continue moving up here to resistance now. I mean, that 1 hour rejection as well, like, you know, when you started to see this 1 hour rejection, you know, there was a good possibility that the next 1 hour would actually start to head up and then retest this high. You know, this is the kind of zone that we should at least get to. If not with this 30-minute, at least the next one, because the 1 hour is about to close bullish here. So yeah, we should definitely see the next one heading up. But yeah, I mean, those of you who didn't even want to take buys within this range, that's still fine, because you can take buys above 148, 184, and then you have a nice move coming up to 148, 370, which is around 18-20 pips. That's still a good range. Oh, you understand? Okay, and then the same situation, if I was to take a sell, let's say I was to take a sell on a bearish candle. Let's say I took a sell over here. I'll just use this as an example. Right, let's say I took a sell over here. My stop would be above the candle, and let's say then I would be targeting support, and then you can see how this candle came up to stop us out. So it hit the top of the red box, so we got stopped out, or whatever. Right, bear with me guys, 2 minutes. I'm just gonna eat these this little bit of cereal.
Pretty weird close.
Sorry, mate. Did you say something?
Yeah, I just said it's a pretty weird close. Like we're still closing above like there, but it's a bearish close. Maybe if it respects the low, then breaks the high.
I think it's still going to continue up because I just
Yeah.
take a look at the 1 hour and then now the 1 hour.
Respect it.
Yeah, because if you look now, if you actually look at it and read it, right, this 1 hour came all the way down, into the zone, and it's left a huge wick, right? And then now look, now this 1 hour has basically created the support, establishing that we will not be leaving this zone, and now this 1 hour kind of should head up to resistance. That's what we're looking at here. So I literally was just munching on some cornflakes. Yeah, we should head up as well. If you take a look, we now have a support established on the 15-minute. So we should start to push up with this next candle. Obviously, we can create a bit of a wick for the new 1 hour. But I mean, these wicks down have created that 1 hour low. You know, this was a 8 a.m. 1 hour, and it's closed pretty solid. 4 hours coming to a close here soon. It just seems like we're just failing to break. I mean, we can't. You know, anything above 147.920 is always going to be buys anyway. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, there's no. Even if we start to see bearish candles, it doesn't really matter because there's no way you can take sells at that point. So yeah, we just have to see what happens.
Yeah, I reckon we'll break up quite quick though when we do get the volume in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, obviously there's not a great deal of range now because of this consolidation, but yeah. But it's actually been, in terms of volume, not a big volume session today on a Monday. So it doesn't matter if you either haven't taken a trade, taken a loss. You know, you have to understand there's a lack of volume to some extent because obviously we're not really going anywhere. We're just technically in a range. So yeah, just bear that in mind. For me, if I'm not taking a trade on a Monday, that's a win for me, man. Because how many times have I taken impulsive moves on Mondays and just got done? So for me, this is a win. It's like the second week in a row I haven't taken a trade on a Monday.
Yeah, I'm not going to bother with any re-entry today. Just going to leave it at that.
Yeah. I think definitely just journal the situation and you'll learn from it.
Yeah, usually I like wait until we actually see it play out, and then obviously then got the screenshots for that.
Oh yeah. No, I didn't mean you journal it right now, but I meant as in just journal it after
we'll do,
today, and then you know.
Yeah, I'm going to start my own like data collection thing for this week as well, so I can obviously
nice.
call it.
Yeah, well, obviously I haven't done the whole of February because we what's it called? We're not finished February yet, but I'm up to date with February now. I did last night. I did the first week of Feb. That's actually been uploaded to the database, so you can check that one out.
Oh yeah, I'll check that out now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I see that.
Yeah, looks like we're gonna head up over here on pound yen. That 1 hour rejecting is a perfect example of reading candlesticks and understanding price action without indicators. Yes. Yes, well said. That is 100% true. Taking a look at the 1 hour time frame is 100%, you know, with that, you don't need no RSI, you don't need no indicators. You know, price told you that price is rejecting, you know. And now we're heading up. If we break this wick on the 1 hour, we're off to resistance. And then we called this exactly how it was going to happen. Yeah, we're above those wicks now. We're heading up to resistance. And actually, we could break through this area because we've got 24 minutes on this 30-minute. And we've already head straight up to this resistance basically at that point. So, I mean, we could easily break above. Yeah, looks like you had the right idea, Kelsey. And then, like we did say, you know, if it does create support on the 15-minute, and it did.
Yeah, like I'll definitely in the future start trying to look for like re-entries. So even on the hour, like you held support. If I had my stop back below that zone where I could have had it, maybe could have called this move.
Yeah, I mean, not even just that. I mean, if the stop loss placement
Was better.
Yeah, then you know you wouldn't have had to sit. You would have felt better about the situation. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like if the analysis plays out, that's fine. You know, you just got to see what went wrong. So like, these are some of the things that I've had to realize. You know, in terms of there's like a few stages of trading. There's the plan, there's your execution, there's your risk. You know, there's all these things, and you have to look at each trade and say, okay, well, did my plan go wrong? No, because the plan was because we closed back above support with basically just before London Open, that London Open should take us up to resistance. So the plan was there, perfect. Now, was the execution the problem? You could argue, okay, maybe on this particular instance, yes, because you could have got a much better entry. Your stops would have been in a very safe place. I mean, if I'd got in, if you'd got in where we said, you know, on this bottom wick over here, and then stops would have been down over here. I mean, you wouldn't have even been worried at all about this candle. You know, you're not really worried at all. And then now you can start to see it going in your direction, coming up to your target level. Even if you did sit through 1, 2, 3 30 minutes to get to your take profit, that's perfectly fine. Do whatever you want to do. So yeah, so now you're going to, okay, was the execution the problem, or was the exit the problem? And then that's how you can seek to improve based on the one thing that didn't go wrong, or didn't go right. You know, because if your plan is always correct, then it's something in either in the execution or the risk management that's going wrong, and that's very easy to correct. You know, but it's when the plan is going wrong that's the biggest problem, because if you can't plan correctly, then you're gonna struggle. But yeah, looks like we're reaching that resistance that we did speak about. You know, once that 1 hour created that support, it was very obvious we were heading up at that point.
Yeah, I definitely expect to obviously lose some trades as I figure out how to catch these moves and where to put stop loss and stuff like that.
Of course, yeah, of course, 100%. You know, there's never going to be a straight path to just, you know, one day going, right, that's it, it's clicked, I know how to catch every single GJ move now. You know, it doesn't work like that, and you know that, and you know I know that. But I think personally, you know, for you should just be pleased that you could identify the right trade that needs to be taken. And then for me, even though I didn't even execute, this is exactly what I wanted to see happen. Maybe not exactly, but near enough what I wanted to see happen for me to say, okay, well, this is something that I would execute on if this happened again and again and again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I was going to say, like, how would you think, obviously, getting in on that pullback, we pushed up like 15 pips, you probably would have had your targets at where it is now, price at now. So you would have held a bit of a, well, it wouldn't be much of a drawdown, would it? I suppose if you had your stops down there, you could just let it play out, you'd hit 20 pips now, and then you'd be having runners up to next resistance.
Yeah, I mean yeah, exactly. I mean, for me, I mean, I may have just been inclined to just take the 15 pips
On a Monday as well.
on a Monday. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I may have done, but at the same time, I mean, even if I didn't get that, and then it starts to go back into drawdown, that's when I would say, okay, now I'm just leaving it to either hit target or not. You know, if you miss that opportunity to secure, then you have to allow the analysis to play out, because it could just be pulling back, and then you would have actually hit TP. So yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to stick to what I said I'm going to do, and you know, it's either hitting stop loss or a target. Obviously, at some point, I'd like to, you know, like secure profits, but if I don't do that, then I would basically just let it run to target. So, but yeah, we called this out very nicely. I think it's going to continue on at this point.
Maybe if you can get support formed above where it is now, 200, you can get in some buys.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at that as well. But for the most part, I'm just like, you know, maybe I've missed this initial move up, so just gonna wait for a bit. Look at the 4 hour now. Man, I remember the days I would look at this as like, oh yeah, we're gonna head down. Now I see the bigger picture. It just made like, in terms of the way you have to view it differently, is you have to view it as zones, because you know the way we've been kind of, or I've kind of conditioned, I suppose, you a little bit to trade is based off each individual candle. Whereas, if you think about it, like you said, we never came back below this area. So all in all, we stayed above that whole zone. So of course we were heading up, because we couldn't close below it. Do you know what I'm saying? So based off that, even though this wick down and whatnot, we never closed above. So if anything, stop loss needed to be placed in an area which allowed for any of this, you know, mess to happen, basically. And it's just funny how it came right down to that wick.
Yeah, I'm starting to see that more now, obviously, with these wick rejections, trying to get caught on them in the future.
This is the next target for GJ. And then we did speak about, once we break this resistance, then we should fill these wicks. This be the next target. But yeah. But the idea was there, mate, so don't worry. Don't worry. So I'm going to say we basically called out GJ buys. I didn't get in these buys because it's a Monday. The other thing as well is I kind of missed the boat with the entry. I did feel like I missed the boat with this entry. I mean, maybe I could have got in on this retracement while I was too busy focusing on. But yeah, I mean. But yeah, they're now running for like 25 pips. Yeah, those run for like 25 pips over there. So yeah, from the entry that we basically called out where it could have got in, it moved very quick. Yeah, it's up around 25 pips right now. Beautiful. That was actually a really good move. But the thing is, what is conditioning you to do is to understand what's going on in and around volume time. You know, reading the structure. We had price breaking down. We closed below this area, but we needed a resistance because, you know, the 4 hour could easily create that wick. Is exactly what we spoke about at the start of the stream. I said don't get ahead of yourself with sells, right? Because 4 hour, if we fake out, we'll leave a big wick, and there's your big wick. So this move getting corrected, caused the 4 hour to flip, and it caused the 1 hour to reject. You know, so that's why I wanted to see solid confirmation for sales. And then once we close back in the range, I spoke about, okay, now there's a very high probability we're going to hit the resistance from the top of the range, right, since we did the fake out. And yes, it's been a little bit slow and grindy, but it's got there. It's got there. And I mean, we spoke about, okay, maybe it needs to pull back, create support. I mean, it literally happened exactly how we said. You know, we had this whole area here, and you know, we did talk about a 15-minute candle may retrace a bit based on the fact these closed a bit weaker to create some support and then to continue to move up. I mean, even if you just got in on the fact that we created support back in the range, this candle still just gave you a 17 pip opportunity. Obviously, you had a 10-11 pip range to resistance. But to, you know, the most part, it did run about 17-18 pips.
Yeah, I'm noticing on the 15-minute, we see that a lot, don't we? Like the 15-minute, like fairly strong 15-minute candle, and then the next one just continues up after we've been pushing bullish.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Very true. That's it, man. That's it. And then, you know, we tapped up into these wicks. These are profit taking points. And like I just said, you know, we've seen this happen a lot of times with the support back in the range. And simple. But trust me, the next time this happens, you're not going to get it wrong. Are you?
No way.
Right, I just got to track a little parcel I've got coming today. Right. We're going to be going to 148,500 after that fake out that closed back in the range. Yeah, I think we could reach 148,500. I think we could do that. I think we've got to break through 148,374 first, but yes, I agree. I mean, look at the structure now. Yes, we can continue moving up. Daily literally done exactly what I thought it would do. I wasn't expecting no wick, but hey ho. Yeah, not the easiest buys. Don't get me wrong, not the easiest buys, but they made a lot of sense, and the confirmations were technically there. You just needed to be a little bit more patient, and you know, it would have played out. I think it was stalling a little bit because it needed to establish that 1 hour support again. You know, I know obviously it doesn't, price doesn't actually say, oh, we need that 1 hour support, but like the actual 1 hour was just pulling back to basically create the support again above this range, to be precise. If you were looking for a re-entry, you could have got in on the 1 hour, put stops below the 1 hour candle, and then anticipate basically this high to get retested. H, could you H, could you please speak a bit on your trading plan? Thoroughly interested in drawing out entries. Great idea going forward. I mean, in terms of a trading plan, as it stands now, if we're in a heavy uptrend, which we are, I'm not looking to take these short-term impulsive sells. I want to see structure. I want to see resistance form. So if we're in a strong uptrend, I'm only looking for resistance to sell. If we're in a strong uptrend, I'm also looking at support to buy. That's also important. But this is why I was talking about we're creating support back above this level to buy it, to retest this high, because this is the high that was created, and then this becomes a new high. What's happening right over here? So you could wait for that new high, wait for a retracement, and then look for support to form to buy. So that's also something I look at. But I'm staying clear away from short-term impulsive sales that potentially, that it's just this sort of thing is going to happen over and over again, because the move down is not there to be sustained. But yeah, looks like we're going to head right to the second target there. I mean, if you have buys, this is where you're securing one position and then you're securing another position over here, whatever you want to do. But that was going to be my plan if it was something a little bit better that I wanted. But yeah, I mean, I probably should have executed, but oh well. Yeah, I mean, I can't really do a lot about that, but getting that CPM. Yeah, my CPM went down a bit last week. I think it's because I was swearing a bit. I think it will go down. No, I disagree. I don't think it will go down. I think it's going to continue moving bullish here today. Because, as you're going to learn on your baby pips course, is that we have a strong uptrend. We have a strong bullish uptrend. So what that means is we are in a... So uptrend is obviously up, right? So price is moving up. It's in an uptrend. So you can see these short-term sell moves are not very long. They get corrected very easily. And price tends to continue with the trend. So we get moves up, we get some consolidation. Is the market taking a breather? You can call it that, because of volume and stuff like that. And then you get a continuation with the trend. Then you might get a little bit of a pullback, some support formed, and then continuation with the trend. Again, you get a little bit of consolidation. In this instance, we had a little bit of a fake out. In fact, we actually tapped. Looking at it now, we actually tapped into this level based on this trend line. Idea, which don't. But yeah, either way, the market structure's there, and then now we're making a new high and whatnot. So yeah. But yeah, just an example. So yeah, I mean, sells is like not a good idea.
Yeah, I've got like a resistance on my MetaTrader at 290. That's maybe why it's reacting.
Okay.
I had to go back quite far for that.
Yeah. Okay, how many likes we got on the stream here today? 23? Man, what's going on? Come on, guys, we can do better than that. Let's try and get to... We've got 50 people here. We should at least have 40 likes. We've been doing quite well with likes recently. So drop a like on the stream. There's been some good commentary today. I mean, if I must say so. But yeah, I mean, we have called out the buys. We did call out where, your entry would have been, stop loss would have been. But yeah, it's been a good day. Let's take a look at Euro NZD. I didn't even check it out. Well, Euro NZD did continue moving down. Did that 15-minute? Yes, it did. It did. So we also discussed Euro NZD sells. I mean, let's measure how much this went. Oh yeah, well you still would have got 10 to 15 pips there, without a doubt, which is good. Yeah, 10 to 15 pips on those sells that were called out. So we discussed if we broke below this minor support, if you were paying attention, I think someone was asking about it, what to do. With Euro NZD, we did speak about, okay, so market's just going to probably consolidate. If we close below this minor support, then you have a short-term play down to this area over here. And it just worked out perfectly. Easy sell. So we also called out Euro NZD sell, which ran for 10 pips. I only put these up because it helps people to see, you know, what trades were taken in the day, and they can kind of like look back and be like, okay, well he called out GJ buys, he called out Euro NZD sells, so I'm gonna check out what happened. So those sells, they ran for 15 pips. So you could have got your hands on a little 15 pip. GJ is trying to continue moving up. Let's look at gold. We didn't really look at gold. Oh, beautiful gold. Yeah, it looks like it's gonna reach target. Gold was messy though because we closed above. I wouldn't have taken buys over here because you missed the opportunity. This was the buying candle. And then once this candle closed above, I think a good opportunity could have been the break of this high right over here to continue moving bullish. But at least the target's incoming now. EJ's been a messy day. So yeah, come on guys, drop a like on the stream. Let's get some likes up over here. I mean, for a Monday, it's been a pretty good day. It's been a pretty good day. I think GJ hasn't moved as well as it should have done, but yeah, I mean, right, that was it. I needed to do something quick. Yeah, looks like the 30-minute closed above. I think we should continue this move up on GJ. heading up to 148.370. Yeah, it was a little bit slow with the volume. Came in a little bit after, but I mean everything still made sense from a structure point of view. So I think it's been a really good stream here today so far. See if we got any news or anything. Not really. We had some positive news. Three hours ago, what would that have been? 3 hours ago would have been 8:30, 7:30, 6:30. Did that get interpreted at 6:30? No. I thought that would have been like a positive news. So yeah. So I think it's tonight, isn't it? We're gonna hear our roadmap. Our roadmap out of lockdown, isn't it? I think it's tonight. Let's see what the internet is saying. Let's hear this. Let's hear this crap. The Times. Let's take a look. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do, what they're saying. Because obviously the media, they seem to always know before the Prime Minister even announces it, which I don't know how, but they seem to always do. So let's see what they got to think. So. Okay, so they're saying schools, universities, ministers, return to classrooms. But why? Why do they need testing? Okay, so universities go wait till Easter apparently. Oh no, I can't read on. Let's see what others are saying. Okay, schools and safe.
Starbucks Premium Instant Coffee has arrived. The new way to taste a perfectly roasted.
Alright, screw it. I'm not even gonna bother. That's just annoying. I'll check it out after the stream. I just thought it'd be while we're just chilling. Something to look at. 1 hour candle still open. 4 hours breaking above the previous 4 hour high. Pretty good. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what the whole. Personally, I don't really get why they're trying to make this all. Oh, you need to be cautious coming out of lockdown. I mean, a lot of people have been vaccinated now. That's all you can do is vaccinate. You know, whoever wants it in the population, and then we should be going back to normal. I mean, if you actually listen to them, they just keep changing what they're saying. I mean, they said basically once we have the vaccine, we have the light at the tunnel, all that crap that they sold us, and then now we have the vaccine. Oh, now it's the number of infections that matter. Well, you can't control that, so that's just crazy. You know, we are literally living in cuckoo land now. You know, and the thing is, right? If you look, I can show you right now. So let's just look something up, because obviously the government say, oh, you know, there's all these new strains. We may need to have restrictions because of the new strains. Let's do this real quick. So let's look at how many strains of flu, right? Just for an example. So they reckon. Nah, I need we'll just put variants of flu. Variants. Nah, there's like, they reckon that, I heard a scientist say the other day, there's like thousands of different variants. Well, basically there is, but yeah, okay, fine. The internet doesn't want to be easy with us, but yeah. Either way, like, the flu mutates every year. The flu mutates all the time. All viruses mutate. So they're just lying by saying, oh well, if we get a new strain, it's gonna. Yeah, it's just rubbish. You know, giving it names like the Kent variant. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh. I mean, I'm not even trying to get political, but it does make me laugh. So it's okay to call it, you know, the Kent variant. So okay, so now you want to say about, because obviously they've been saying, okay, well, apparently because some people have called it the Chinese virus, that it's caused discrimination against Chinese people, right? Obviously that's what the media are going to tell you, but you know, it's okay to call it the Kent variant. You know, that's fine. Or the South African variant, or this variant. You can call it that. You know, that's perfectly fine. But where the virus originally came from, no, that's not okay. Where is the logic, man, of these people? Just hypocrites. So yeah, I'm wondering if we're gonna, you know, for further upside, if we're gonna need a solid support to form. Because you can argue that buys have been moving up for about 40 pips. You can argue that. GJ no volume now. May MY will push the price. Yeah, MY could push price up, definitely. Just have to wait and see. I mean, the way we've watched a lot of the candles form, remember, is we've seen a bottom wick first. So I would say that we should see some form of retest of this area before we start to head up at that point. Whether that's a support form, whether that's just a retest, whatever, but we should see that. But yeah, no, we've had a real smaller audience here today. But you watch, if I was in a trade, you'd start to see loads of people start jumping on. Oh, Kelsey, I forgot to say, I actually over the weekend thought, screw it. I made a little withdrawal over the weekend. I mean, it's literally not much at all, but I just thought, you know what, let's do it. Let's try the first withdrawal. Let's see if it does make me feel different. Maybe it's not that. But yeah, see, I don't know what you guys' opinions on this in the YouTube, but I mean, I was always one to say, okay, well, I don't believe in. I never actually used to believe in withdrawing. I'll be completely honest. I used to see it as, just in my opinion, you know, why would you withdraw, you know, on a regular basis to just, you know, waste that money or go and spend the money that, you know, you could be compounding the account. And that was my, you know, like previous mentality, you know, was to think about it like, okay, well, you know, why wouldn't you you know, save the profits, compound the account, and then you can start to trade bigger lot sizes. But after many months of doing so, I realized not reaping the benefits or not withdrawing any of your profits can be detrimental to being successful in the long run. Because you wanna feed the hunger a little bit, and it's something I wasn't doing. So that's something I'm gonna start doing. I definitely want to start withdrawing profit. So I withdrew a little £100 over the weekend just to, I don't know, get some dinner and maybe I don't know, whatever it's gonna pay for. But either way, it's my first proper withdrawal.
Oh, did you do it in the end? Did you?
Yeah. Literally, I was just saying I withdrew a little 100 over the weekend.
Yeah, nice, man. I think that'll help.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna see if withdrawing once a week makes me feel different about, you know, profits and stuff. Like, I mean, today I feel great. I feel no emotion towards not taking a trade. I feel fantastic that I can identify, you know, what I was looking for here today. So yeah, I'm pleased. And I definitely want to start withdrawing because it's just something I haven't done, and I feel like it's something that maybe has almost held me back a little bit as well, psychologically, you know. I've just, the way a lot of people speak about when they withdraw, that feeling and, you know, chasing that feeling, I suppose I haven't quite experienced that to know what it feels like. You know, and then it's actually like, okay, now I'm actually making money from trading. You know, it's hit your bank account at the end of the day. And I've never kind of felt that experience. So hopefully, yeah, that's going to have some positive impact. But right now, I mean, if I'm going to take buys on GJ, I'm going to need a solid support to form. Because I don't want to get caught buying at the high over here. So I'm going to wait for like a support to form. And we will see. I withdraw a lot rather than have money working for me in an investment account than sat doing nothing in my trading account. Yeah, I mean, like, for me, I always had the view, you know, if you're not withdrawing, then you're letting the account compound, so you're going to eventually be able to increase your lot sizes and blah blah blah, which it did work, you know, for a long time. It did work for me, but after that long time, you know, maybe I could argue, okay, well, you know, maybe I should have, what's the word, like, kept myself hungry. You know, I wasn't keeping myself hungry because I wasn't withdrawing. I wasn't reaping the benefits. You know, it's almost like getting paid. It's almost like working. I think this is a good like comparison. It's almost like working and getting paid into like it goes straight into a savings account that you can't see. Like, almost like, you know, 6 weeks, couple months after work, and you're like, oh, you know, I mean, I can't do anything. I can't access this money. I can't spend it. What am I working for? You know, it's kind of that. When you start withdrawing, or when you start actually getting paid, I suppose you're actually starting to feel like you're getting paid for what you're doing. I think that's the difference. Withdrawing makes it feel real too. Yes, as long as I have enough for 5 to 10 losses, I'm cool. Yeah, I just think withdraw profits, man. If you earn profits, just withdraw that, and that's what I'm gonna start adopting into my trading. So if I do withdrawals, I will keep you guys updated. Bro, it's going down. Yes, this candle is going down, but just a little bit of language that we speak about in trading. So this is what we call a retracement. So, you know, obviously you could argue that, you know, this what's it called? This candle's going down. Yes, it was going down, but what we call that is a retracement. You know, you have to look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is that, you know, you can see that we've had this move up. You can see these had this big move up. This candle's retracing a bit. That's fine, but that doesn't mean we're going down. You know, if I'm saying we're going down, I want to see structure for us to go down. You know, the structure is bullish, and if you mean when I talk about bullish, I mean, you know, price is going up. Higher time frame wise, structure is going up. Yeah, Fo, I know what you're trying to say, but you know, I think what he's trying to say is that we're going down because this candle's big and red, but we need to give him guidance and, you know, explain to him that this is just what we call a retracement. You know, because Shihan, when you say that we're going down, we all think as experienced traders that we're going to see a big sell-off. So when we're looking for a big sell-off, we're looking for market structure. We're looking for a structure that's going to indicate that we're going to go down. So if I'm going to find a structure to indicate we're going to go down, is maybe something like this, right? If we start to create these big rejections like this, and we form a strong bearish candle, this is a bearish candle. If we form a strong bearish candle, then you can say, okay, we're going down because we have clear rejections, right? We have a low. So when price is moving down, it's going to make a low, it's going to retrace, and it's going to continue down. So it's going to eventually have to revisit this low point. This is what happened over here. We had a low created, we retraced, we formed like a resistance, which is what we look for, this kind of area here, and then you'll look to sell to retest this low or break that low. So you know, just in today's example that you spoke about going down, it's not going down. We class that as retracement. We class that as what's called a retracement, because this candle can still flip bullish. This candle here can still flip bullish. Obviously, I'd agree it's probably not going to, but it does not mean that we are heading down, okay? Because what's more likely to happen is, okay, let's say this candle closes as it is right now. Let's say it does what it is. That means we're just backing the range. And when we're back in the range, that basically means we call it a day and we say this is no good. We can't do nothing from this area because there's no trend, there's no market structure. It's just awful at that point. So we just say, that's it, it's done. But I get what you're trying to say, but because we've been doing this for a long time, we have kind of different lingo, but you will pick that up very soon. Don't worry. So don't worry about that. Just focus on understanding market structure, understanding that if price is moving bullish and you see one bearish candle, that does not mean we're going down. It's like I say to people, when price is moving up, let's just say we're moving up, and we hit a level where, okay, let's just say you look to left, because when we say look left, looking left means that we're looking at previous information. So let's say this is today's date right over here, and I say, okay, look left. If we look left, I don't know, just for example, let's just say we had a bullish candle to the left over here. Let's just say we had a bullish candle over here. Then that would be looking left, and we can say, okay, well, we had a nice, easy, clean candle to the left hand side, so we should see something like that coming up. That's the kind of thing we look at. So when we look left and we're coming into the range, we look left and we see mess, 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 bang. There's nothing we can do. You know, we want to see nice clean moves at that point. But yeah, sorry for over explaining. I just want you to understand what we're talking about, and then, you know, I haven't got to go through these things again, but you're gonna go through these things of baby pips and it's gonna make a lot more sense. But if we close back in the range, I mean, that's just a great way of me just saying, okay, let's call it a day now. And then we knew the opportunity that did happen with buys. We called that out, but now it's just not going anywhere. I think withdrawal is good. It helps my mentality. I think I can easily compound 100 USD account, but 1,000 USD account, it may be really hard because I cannot adapt myself to risk big money. Yeah, adapting yourself to risking big money just takes time. You know, it just takes practice. It just takes it's all psychological, man. Trust me, it's just psychological. I've been in that position. I know how that feels. I've been you know, every time I got to a point where every time I increased my risk, I seemed to lose, because I was like, not like lose as in I did take a loss, or I'd have a bad week that week, or not a bad week, but I'd either break even, or because the psychology, you know, I found it difficult. But it does just take time. I mean, it's still going to take time for me. You know, I've still got many lot sizes, hopefully, to get to more than where I'm at now. So yeah, I mean, that's just the way it is. You know, you just got to adapt, to stick to the plan. As long as you're sticking to your strategy, the lot size is just like wearing in a new pair of shoes. It's a little bit hard at first, but once you wear them in for a couple of days, they're gonna feel great, and you're gonna be able to walk around in them. You know, but if you're not sticking to what you're doing and you're increasing your lot size, then you're causing trouble for yourself. You know, it's like trying to do sports in school shoes. It doesn't work. You know, you got to stick to your plan. Do the same thing that you know works. Just keep replicating what you know works, and then the lot size is just a different number. Double fake out today possible. If it does, then yeah, this is just one of those crazy Mondays, which is probably best to just chill. You know, that's what I did all day. I've chilled. I knew price was going to head up to resistance, but I kind of just felt I missed that initial push. You know, this initial push up, I probably would have liked to just bag my 15 pips and got out. You know, that's what I probably would have liked. But I missed the opportunity, and that's just how it goes. You know, that's just how it goes. Man, it looks like it's about to absolutely pour down where I'm at right now. Ooh, looks like gold nearly reached target. Yeah, looks like we're gonna close back in the range over here. Very difficult situation. Did you guys catch GC? No, I don't trade GCAD. I stopped looking at it as well. It just is a very, very difficult pair to look at. Very difficult pair. But just for the sake of it, let's take a look at GCAD, see what happened then. Oh, GCAD had a nice move up today. Do you know what, Kelsey? Look at GCAB right now. It looks exactly what GJ done last week with that breakout on Wednesday or Thursday, I think it was.
Oh yeah.
You remember when it was creating bearish structure pre-London, and then just before London Open, we created that bullish structure. And it basically did the same thing.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice move on GCAD there, to be fair, like,
For GCAD.
you know, compared to what it's normally like.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it'd been a little bit difficult because you're technically still in this absolute disgusting range. Because really and truly, I mean, if I was looking at this area, I would have said, okay, well, you know, to have the safest possible buys is going to be above this resistance. So I mean, the only way you really would have liked to have got in is maybe somewhere on this retest, but then I don't really know how this candle formed to be able to say. But let's say you did hypothetically get buys in over here, yeah, you would have a beautiful trade. You know, I mean, stops would have had to been below this 30-minute candle down over there, but either way, I mean, yeah, it was a nice move, but I just don't know how this kind of formed for that to happen.
Check the 15 minutes sec. I think it forms support.
Let's take a look. Yeah, I think it did form support, yeah. But then it literally...
That's quite nice.
Yeah, it moved up around. Yeah, I mean, I think even if it formed support, your stop would have had to have been like in a conservative position. So stop would have needed to have been probably below that 30-minute, which is, yeah, it's going to be like a 20 pip risk. But yeah, that was just one of those big rejection from the bottom and then just head up. But yeah, GJ right now is disgusting. Because technically this is just range. Technically speaking, we've gone nowhere. But the buys that we did talk about definitely did play out, which is great. Okay, so I think we're going to be calling it a day here soon because, yeah, we're just kind of ranging. It's come back in the range. Oh, it's the first time I've ever just got a little notification to say that. Oh, no, it's gone. I'm just saying the stream wasn't very good, but now it is. Interesting. Okay. So yeah. Interesting day. I think we're gonna call it a day here now. But yeah, interesting day. No trade for me today. But we did call out GJ buys. We did call GJ buys out. I did speak about where the entry was, stop loss placement, target, etc. And in fact, you know, this basically we came up to these wicks and then rejected. So I mean, that would have been like another kind of target level. But either way, it did kind of reach that area and then it now has started to reject. So that's obviously one thing to think about. The other thing as well is that we did call out EN sells. So with Euro NZD, we spoke about the fact that, okay, you know, price is moving up. And for price to correct that move up because of the overall bearish trend, we would need the 15-minute candle to close below this minor support. Right over here. So this is where I would have, you know, looked to sorry, try and take entries, and then stops would have been probably up over here to be a little bit more conservative, and then you're targeting this area right over here. And then if you left a runner, I mean, runner's up really nice right now. Your runner is up probably around like 27, coming up to 30 pips. So it's a pretty good day there for Euro NZD. Yeah, we spoke about how you could have got in that trade. Looks like the 1 hour is rejecting. Yeah, very nice. Very, very nice. So yeah, if you've enjoyed today's stream, drop a like on the stream, please, guys. We've got 48 people. We got only 34 likes. Let's try and get it to at least 40 likes here today. Obviously, we had like 80 likes on Friday's video, which was obviously fantastic. So I do appreciate everybody who takes the time to like the stream. It means a lot, but it also does help to spread what we do here. I mean, at the end of the day, yes, there's other London live stream sessions, which is great. You know, anybody willing to help out the community is great. But obviously, we want to try and spread what we do as well to as many people as we can. And then obviously that's for people to decide who they want to come on and watch. So fantastic. So thanks very much everybody for coming on today. It's been a really good day. So like I say, no trade for me today. I think if I'm gonna take a trade after the stream, I'm gonna want to see some support to form probably above this area for any continuation, because if you look, the 1 hour actually hasn't closed above this resistance, right? So that's something we've got to think about. For sells, the only way I'm taking sells if I see a solid resistance again below this 4 hour area. Despite these fake outs that have happened on the 30-minute, I mean, the higher time frame levels still stand because of these rejections. These have just become rejection wicks. Nothing we can do about it. This 4 hour came this 4 hour, right? It done a retest. It went all the way down to reject, to move all the way back up in the last hour to break the high, to then close back bearish and reject this area. So I mean, I have to admit, it's been actually quite a tough day, but this is where, you know, that experience and just that extra patience can just keep you out of bad situations. You know, but I mean, the one move that we did discuss was definitely the only good play for GJ today. I don't believe there was any sell impulse. I think that was just a volume push. You know, I think that could have been a reaction to the Brexit situation, but I don't see the correlation being that. That's actually quite positive news, what happened with the Brexit announcement. But yeah, it seemed to correct that very quickly, so that's also another little confluence. And then yeah, we did discuss these buys up to resistance and a little bit of a move up. So yeah, it's been a good day. It's been a great day. So thanks very much everybody for coming on. We're going to keep it at 7:30 AM this week. I know I said I would start at 7 AM this week, but I have to admit I did actually forget I even said that. So I mean, there's no point trying to change it for tomorrow. Let's just do another week from 7:30, and then I'm sure from next week we will be back from 7 AM, so it's perfectly fine. So drop a like on the stream. Let's try and get to 40 likes. Only one more like necessary, and then we've hit that target today, and then that'll be a win for me today. So let's do a little bit of a round off. I'll do a little bit of a round off for you guys for coming into, you know, NY session. So looking at gold, I think gold can continue moving bullish as we look left on the 30-minute. If we break above this resistance on the 30-minute, then your next target for gold at that point, I mean, you have a nice clean range. I mean, that's a beautiful range on gold. But I mean, because of the real heavy trend, I would want to see some solid supports formed for any buys at that point. You know, as you look on the 15-minute, I mean, even 15-minute has just a nice clean move. So gold buys look really good for NY. GJ, you're gonna need solid confirmations. I think you're gonna need to stick to maybe like the 1 hour, you know, because if you look at the 1 hour, we're just ranging. So wait till you start to see some solid confirmations either above this range or below this range, because look at these rejection wicks on the 1 hour. You know, that's it's way too you know, I don't really like that situation there. You know, you're gonna need to wait for something a bit more solid to take a trade, basically, for a proper direction. Euro JPY, we didn't really look at it today, but I mean, it looks like crap as well, to be completely honest with you. Same sort of thing. It's respecting this 4-hour area, but kind of like rejecting the top as well. So you probably want to wait for sells on EJ then. I mean, the only thing I can kind of conclude is that you would wait for a resistance probably below this level. That would be the 4-hour closing below this resistance, and then I think it would be a good idea to look for sells coming down to support. That's what I would say for EJ. That's the only good kind of situation I see there. Otherwise, probably a break above this resistance because of this range being just a shit range, really. EN. So obviously we discussed EN sells. I think for the rest of the session, I mean, the only thing you can really do right now is look for a resistance to take shorts, wait for a little bit of a pullback, and then, I mean, eventually we could come down and retest this low, but we need to break this support area first. So, I mean, good sells would be in this range here. This is like a 30 pip range almost. That would be a good range, but based on the structure, it's probably going to pull back, probably need to create some resistance, and then you can look to take shorts at that point to continue with this bearish structure situation that you have going on. Looking on the 4-hour, previous 4-hour closed a weak bullish. We know what that means. We know that means potential rejection. We also know if we can start to create resistance on smaller time frames, high probability that this low will get retested. So that's also something I think you guys should keep an eye on. But yeah, and then GU. Okay, we'll do a little one on GU. So let's see, 4 hours, kind of same situation. Same situation. It's just kind of ranging, rejecting this area, whatever. 1 hour. So 1 hour obviously created support from London Open. It reacted to this 1 hour support. That could have been a good opportunity to take buys on GU. It did move up at like 25 pips. Let's take a look on the 30-minute. See what happened on 30 minutes. So yeah, we did a little bit of a fake out with the 30-minute on GU. Same situation on GU as GJ before we finish here. Notice how GJ also broke the low, did a little bit of liquidity to head up. Same thing with GU. So as long as your stops are way below this area, you had nothing to worry about. This bearish candle would have been corrected. Actually, it's just continued printing up. So that would obviously been that GU kind of play there. But for the rest of the session, I mean, yeah, you're probably going to want to see like a support formed at this point because of the amount of bullish candles that have been moving up. You're going to want to see some form of solid 30-minute support, and then you could be looking at coming up to retest this resistance. So you have a nice clean range above this area. It's like a 22 pip range on GU, but I think a support is going to be much better confirmation for price to continue that move further up. So there we go. So yep, no worries, Salim, thank you very much. Everyone on the YouTube, thank you very much for coming on today. Ooh, just as we finish, we start to get a few more people join. Unfortunately, guys, we're gonna call it a day there today. But if you have enjoyed the stream, the commentary, everything, please drop a like on the stream. Really appreciate that. But yeah, so thank you very much, everybody. Have a great rest of your trading day. Be very cautious. Remember, it's Monday. Don't overtrade on a Monday, right? That's really, really important. Don't overtrade on a Monday. You got the whole week ahead of you, so just take it easy, relax, take nice, solid setups, and enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks very much, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.